Zero money in your pocket, no job, no contacts, no hope. This is the situation millions of Jews have faced again and again throughout history. Expelled from countries, stripped of their possessions, forced to rebuild their lives in foreign lands where they knew no one and owned nothing. And yet give a Jewish family 10 years in almost any country, and more often than not, they rebuild their wealth. This is not an opinion. It is a documented historical reality. So the real question becomes simple. What do they actually do when they lose everything? What is their first reaction, their first decision, their first thought? Because I can guarantee you one thing. It is not what most people do when they are broke. Shalom. My name is Rabbi Joseph. For more than 20 years, I have studied the principles that allowed my people to prosper through some of the harshest trials in history. Today, I am sharing that wisdom with you. In this video, you will discover the 5 powerful reflexes Jews activate when they start from nothing. This is not theory. This is not motivational talk. These are practical actions you can apply starting tomorrow morning, even if your bank account shows 0. Before we begin, if you are serious about changing your financial future, take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who wants to build real wealth. Because the ideas you are about to hear can change how you think about money forever. Let us begin. The first reflex is simple but incredibly powerful. They do not look for a job. They look for a problem to solve. When a Jewish immigrant arrives in a new country with nothing, their first question is never, "Who is going to hire me?" Their first question is, "What do people need here that nobody is providing?" That difference in mindset changes everything. A poor mindset looks for someone to pay them for their time. A wealth-building mindset looks for a problem to solve in exchange for value. One creates dependency, the other creates opportunity. There is a well-known story about a Jewish immigrant who arrived in New York in the early 20th century. He did not speak English. He had no diploma, no connections, only a few coins in his pocket. Instead of panicking, he observed. For 3 days, he walked through the streets. He watched people. He paid attention to patterns. He noticed something important. Factory workers did not have time to go home for lunch, and there was no one selling food nearby. With his last few coins, he bought bread and cheese. At noon, he stood outside a factory. Within 1 hour, he sold everything. The next day, he did it again. Then he expanded. 3 years later, he owned a chain of restaurants. He did not look for a job. He looked for a problem, and he solved it. The Talmud teaches a powerful idea. Where there is a lack, there is opportunity. Where people complain, there is money waiting to be made. So ask yourself right now, what problems do you see around you that nobody is solving? What do people complain about every day? What frustrates them? What is missing in your environment? The answer to that question can be worth more than any degree. The second reflex is just as powerful. They activate their network before their bank account. When a Jewish person arrives somewhere with nothing, their second action is not to search for money. Their second action is to search for people, because they understand something many people overlook. Money flows through relationships, not resumes. In Jewish tradition, there is a concept called kehila, which means community. But this is not just a social group, it is an economic system built on trust. When someone needs a loan, they often turn first to members of the community. No complicated paperwork, no high interest, just trust and shared growth. When someone needs suppliers, they ask within their network. When they need customers, they start with relationships. When they need partners, they rely on trust. Over time, this creates powerful economic ecosystems. It is not always about having more money. It is about having stronger trust. A poor mindset says, "I need money to start." A wealth-building mindset says, "I need relationships to start. The money will follow." Now you might be thinking, "But I do not have a community like that." Then build one. Start small. Connect with people who think about growth. Build trust. Offer value. Help others before asking for help. Over time, relationships compound just like money. And sometimes, the right relationship can change your financial life faster than any investment. Every person you help today becomes a relationship that may help you tomorrow. Every problem you solve without asking for immediate compensation becomes a seed of trust planted in the future. And over time, those seeds grow into opportunities, partnerships, and doors that money alone can never open. The Talmud teaches a simple but powerful principle. One who wants to make friends must first show himself friendly. This is not just a moral lesson, it is an economic strategy. You cannot expect others to help you if you have never helped anyone. You cannot activate a network that you have never nurtured. Relationships, like investments, grow through consistent contributions. So start now. Help someone today without expecting anything in return. Introduce two people who could benefit from knowing each other. Offer your skills to someone who needs them. Share useful information. Solve a small problem for someone in your environment. These actions may seem small, but they compound over time. 6 months from now, you will have relationships. 1 year from now, those relationships may bring opportunities that no job application ever could. And the most powerful part is that this type of wealth grows quietly. It does not require capital. It only requires intention, consistency, and generosity. This is how many Jewish entrepreneurs historically built influence even before they built financial capital. They understood that trust is often more valuable than money, especially when you are starting from zero. The third reflex is equally powerful. They invest in their mind before they invest in their pocket. Here is something most people overlook. When someone loses everything, there is one asset that cannot be taken away: what they know. This is why Jewish communities have historically placed an extraordinary emphasis on education. But not education for prestige, not education for status, education for capability. Education that allows a person to create value anywhere. A person who knows how to negotiate can generate income in almost any country. A person who understands sales can create a business from nothing. A person who knows how to repair, improve, or optimize something will always be needed. Knowledge becomes the only form of capital that cannot be confiscated, stolen, or destroyed. This is why even during the darkest periods of history, even in ghettos, even during times of persecution, education remained central. Parents taught children, elders shared knowledge, communities protected learning, because they understood something deeply powerful. Knowledge survives everything. Now apply this to your own life. If you lost everything tomorrow, what skill would you still have that people would be willing to pay for? If you arrived in a new country with nothing, what ability would allow you to create income immediately? If you cannot answer that question clearly, then you have identified your number one priority. Learn something valuable, not in 10 years. Now, not when you have time. Make time. There is a Jewish proverb that says, "One who does not add to his knowledge diminishes it." Every day you do not learn something new is a day you become poorer. Not poorer in money, but poorer in your ability to create money. Over time, this difference becomes enormous. Some people spend hours consuming entertainment. Others spend those same hours consuming education. One path builds temporary pleasure, the other builds permanent opportunity. After 20 years, the results speak for themselves. This is not about working harder. It is about learning smarter. It is about building abilities that multiply your efforts. The fourth reflex reveals an even deeper difference. They think in systems, not in events. This may be the most important shift in mindset between struggling financially and building wealth. A struggling mindset asks, how can I make money? A wealth-building mindset asks, how can I create a system that produces money? These are not the same questions, and they lead to completely different outcomes. Making money is an event. It happens once, then it stops. Then you must start again. Creating a system is building a structure. It requires more effort at the beginning, but once established, It continues producing value again and again. Think about it this way. Someone who needs money urgently may look for a job. They exchange their time for income. Hours worked equal money earned. When they stop working, the money stops. This is a repeating event. But someone thinking in systems approaches the situation differently. Instead of asking, "Who can pay me today?" they ask, "What can I build once that continues to generate income?" This could be a small distribution network, a service that can be delegated, a product that can be sold repeatedly, a relationship that produces recurring opportunities. At first, it may take more patience, it may feel slower, but over time, the difference becomes massive, because systems create leverage, and leverage is what turns effort into wealth. This mindset has allowed many individuals, starting from nothing, to create long-term financial stability. They did not chase quick income. They built structures that produced consistent value. Once you understand this principle, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. You stop chasing temporary solutions and start building long-term foundations. And this is where real wealth begins. Instead of asking, "How can I earn money today?" he asks a different question. How can I create something that works for me even while I sleep? Maybe he decides to buy a product in bulk and sell it at retail. His system becomes simple. Buy low, sell high, repeat. Over time, he refines the process, finds better suppliers, builds loyal customers, and eventually creates a predictable income stream. Maybe he chooses another path. He learns a valuable skill and then teaches it to others. His system becomes learn once, teach many times. Instead of trading time for money every single day, he multiplies his knowledge and earns repeatedly from the same expertise. Or perhaps he builds a small business and hires someone to perform the work. His system becomes managing value instead of producing it alone. Now, instead of being limited by his own time, he expands through leverage. In every case, the mindset is the same. Think in systems, not events. The Talmud tells a powerful story about a man who was given a choice. He could receive a fish, or he could learn how to fish. The wise man chose to learn how to fish. But the wiser man went even further. He created a fishing school, taught 100 people, and then took a small commission from every fish they caught. That is the difference between earning and building. That is the difference between survival and wealth. So ask yourself honestly, what you are doing today, is it an event or a system? Are you building something that will continue to produce value tomorrow, next month, and next year? Or are you starting from zero every single day? If what you are doing is an event, begin transforming it into a system. Because that is how lasting wealth is built. Slowly at first, then faster, and eventually, exponentially. The fifth reflex may be the most surprising and perhaps the most powerful. They give before they have. This idea feels counterintuitive, especially when you are struggling financially. Most people believe they must first become wealthy before they can afford to give. But this is not the mindset that has guided Jewish communities for generations. When someone has very little, they still give. Not after becoming rich, before. This principle is known as tzedakah, and it is often misunderstood as charity. But in Jewish tradition, it is not simply charity. It is justice. It is restoring balance. It is allowing value to circulate. You may be thinking, how can I give when I have nothing? And the answer is simple. This is precisely why giving becomes even more powerful. Jewish wisdom teaches that money is a form of energy, and energy must circulate. When you hold on to everything out of fear, you block the flow. When you give, even a small amount, you open the flow again. This is why even the poorest members of Jewish communities often give a portion of what they earn. Not because they can afford to lose it, but because they understand that giving is not a loss. It is an investment in circulation. There is a powerful verse in the book of Malachi. "Test me in this, says the Lord of hosts, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven for you." This is one of the rare moments in Scripture where God invites people to test the principle. give, and observe what happens. Now, this does not necessarily mean giving large sums of money. Giving can take many forms. You can give your time, your knowledge, your encouragement, your help. A valuable introduction between two people, a solution to someone's problem. Because when you give, you send a message to your mind. You tell yourself, I have enough to share. And that belief in abundance begins to transform how you think, how you act, and how you create opportunities. A struggling mindset says, when I have enough, I will give. A wealth-building mindset says, I give so that I can create more. This is not magic, it is psychology, it is spirituality, and it has worked for thousands of years. Let us recap the 5 powerful reflexes activated when starting from nothing. The first reflex. They do not look for a job. They look for a problem to solve. The second reflex. They activate their network before their bank account. The third reflex. They invest in their mind before their pocket. The fourth reflex. They think in systems, not events. The fifth reflex. They give before they have. These 5 reflexes allowed a people without land, without an army, without centralized power for centuries to prosper in almost every country they entered. Not sometimes, consistently. So now the question becomes simple. What will you do with this knowledge? You can close this video and return to your normal routine. Or you can choose one single reflex and apply it starting tomorrow. Find a problem to solve. Reach out to someone and offer your help. Learn a new valuable skill. Transform your effort into a system. Give something to someone. One action is enough to begin. Because wealth does not start with money. Wealth starts with mindset, decisions, and consistent action. Jewish communities do not possess magical powers. They developed powerful reflexes. And reflexes can be learned. Wealth is not reserved for a select few. It is available to those who think differently, act differently, and persist long enough for results to compound. You now know the principles. The rest depends on you. And if this message resonated with you, if you believe that building wealth starts with changing how you think, then this is the moment to take action. Subscribe to Unlimited Wealth Awakening and join a community of people committed to transforming their financial future. Like this video so more people can discover these powerful principles. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. And most importantly, leave a comment below telling me which of these 5 reflexes you are going to apply first. Because your decision today could mark the beginning of a completely different financial future. And if you are ready to go deeper, I invite you to continue your journey with the Unlimited Wealth Awakening playlist. Inside that playlist, you will discover powerful strategies, timeless wisdom, and practical steps designed to help you build wealth from any starting point. Do not stop here. Continue learning, continue growing, continue building. Because the moment you change how you think about money, you begin to change your life. Shalom. And may every step you take from today forward bring you closer to prosperity, purpose, and lasting abundance.